Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ramo Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Hare Ram. Jai Kaliयुग पावन देवना की वे सभय चरणारे स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद परिव्रजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शक्ति श्रीमती डिवाइन पाद की जय, वैष्णव वृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रज भूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप मायावत धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। अयोध्या धाम की जय। गंगा देवी जमुना देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। कलियुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। Jai Gaur Premanandi. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to you and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from chapter 4 of Canto 1 entitled Prayers by Queen Kunti. Text number 43. Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishna Rishabhavani Drig. So, Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishna Rishabhavani Dhrug. So one more time. It's text number 43. Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishna Rishabhavani Dhrug. Rajanyavamshadhananapav Rajanyavamshadhananapavargavirya Rajanyavamshadhananapavargavirya गोविंद गोद्विज सुरारी गो गोविंद गोद्विज सुरार्ति हरावतार गोविंद गोद्विज सुरार्ति हरावतार योगेश्वराखिल गुरो भगवान नमस्ते योगेश्वराखिल गुरो भगवान नमस्ते श्री कृष्ण कृष्ण सख विष्णु ऋषा भवानी दृग राजन्य वंशधन नानप वर्ग वीर्य गोविंद गोद्विज सुरार्ति हरावतार योगेश्वराखिल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते Anybody wants to श्री कृष्ण कृष्ण सख वृष्ण ऋषभावनी दृग राजन्य वंश दहनान पवर्ग वीर्य गोविंद गोद्विज सुरारति हरावतार योगेश्वराखिल भक्त श्री कृष्ण कृष्ण सख विष्णु ऋषभ राजन्य वंश जनना पवर्ग वीर्य गोविंद गोद्विज वैष्णवी श्री कृष्ण ओ श्री कृष्ण कृष्ण सखा ओ फ्रेंड ऑफ अर्जुन वृष्णि ऑफ डिसेंडेंट्स ऑफ वृष्णि वृषभ ओ चीफ अवनी द अर्थ कृत रिबेलियस राजन्य वंश डायनेस्टीज ऑफ द किंग सहन ओ annihilator अनपवर्ग without deterioration of वीर्य prowess गोविंद O proprietor of Golok Dham, Go of the cows, Dvija, the Brahmanas, Sura, the demigod, Artihara, to relieve distress, Avatar, O Lord who descends, Yog Ishvara, O Master of all mystics, O Master of all mystic power, Akhila, Universal, Guru, O Preceptor, Bhagavan, O Possessor of all opulence, Namaste, respectful obeisances unto you. Translation and purport. O Krishna, O friend of Arjun, O chief amongst the descendants of Krishna, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on this earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distresses of the cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers, and you are the preceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God, and I offer you my respectful obeisance. Purport. A summary of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is made herein by Srimati Kunti Devi. The Almighty Lord has his eternal transcendental abode where he is engaged in keeping Surabhi cows. He is served by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. He descends on the material world to reclaim his devotees and to annihilate the disturbing elements in groups of political parties and kings who are supposed to be in charge of administration. He creates, maintains, and annihilates by his unlimited energy. And still, he is always full with prowess and does not deteriorate in potency. The cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees of the Lord are all objects of his special attention because they are very important factors for the general welfare of living beings. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलान् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितान्तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्तां च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते सप्तकांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर वासादि गौर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण. So I want to thank all the devotees who gave me this opportunity to speak on such a wonderful verse, and thank you everybody for coming and encouraging me by sitting, and I beg and pray for your mercy and blessing. Hare Krishna. So here Kunti Devi is actually ending her prayer. So this chapter is entitled Prayers by Queen Kunti. And if you study the entire prayers, so Srila Prabhupada gave a lot of importance to the prayers of Queen Kunti. He would quote a lot from these verses. And some of the best and most esoteric uh, aspects of Krishna are mentioned by Kunti Devi. So, in the beginning of her prayers, she relates to Lord Krishna as a very, from a very, like, oh Krishna, you are the creator, you are time. So, in very indirect terms, signifying, oh Krishna, you are so, so great. And then she starts, really focusing her, narrows down to a very personal aspect, right? So, in this verse, she is glorifying Sri Krishna. He is actually addressing Lord Krishna as Sri Krishna, right? Krishna is so attractive. The word Krishna means attractive, the supreme attractive. And she is not just telling Krishna, she is telling Sri Krishna. So Sri, as all of us know, Sri means the goddess of fortune. Hmm? So Krishna is the husband of the goddess of fortune. So therefore he is called Sri Krishna. And what is Sri actually? Sri just doesn't mean wealth. Shri means anything that is good in this world, in our lives, anything that we actually are looking forward, auspicious, right? So, goddess of good fortune, right? There is misfortune also, but she is the goddess of good fortune. Anybody who takes the name of Krishna or is associated with Krishna in any way, shape, or manner, that person becomes fortunate. There is no doubt about it. And therefore, Sri Krishna. Krishna is all attractive. Now, usually we relate to attractiveness more through our eyes, right? Usually the subject of attraction is form of the Lord or form in general. That's the object of the eyes. And that's what is attractive. Now, there are two kinds of forms in this world or attractiveness, you may say. There is Akriti, attractiveness based on Akriti. And there is Prakritik attract. So, Akritik and Prakritik. So, in general, we see in this world, things are not really very attractive. But we package them in such a way, we give them a nice form and shape and everything, and you know, we mesmerize people, right? So that is akritic attraction. In it, quality is not attractive, but do nice advertising, nice cover up, nice polishing, and you make it very attractive, correct? So everything in this world, if you see, is actually working towards making things attractive, isn't it? So, so things like there are so many beauty parlors, there are so many nail parlors, right? Where even men go actually, and the whole advertising industry, the whole packaging industry. Like you should see, how phones come so nicely packed, so sleek, right? So in this world, the attraction for the eyes is given a lot of importance, and therefore things are attempted to be made in such a way that just by displaying, your mind is attracted, right? So, and in this world, what is the most attractive thing? For a man, the most attractive thing is woman. And for a woman, the most attractive thing is the man. And Adi Shankaracharya ji so nicely actually warns about this akritic attraction, right? He says in this Govindam Bhaja Govindam prayer, Nari Stana Bharanabhidesham Trishtva Maga Mohavesham Etan Mama Etan Mamsa Vasadi Vikaram Manasi Vichintaya Varam Varam. Right? I'm not very good in reciting this. So he's warning, please don't get fooled by this attractive form of Nari. Of course, for Nari it is Nar. We should understand like that. Because what actually it is, it's all blood, mucus, bile, pus, and urine, and stool, and whatever you can imagine. It is all there and it is nicely packed up, arranged on the structure of the bones, and it is nicely packed with the skin, right? And that packing of Krishna is so great that it actually maddens a person. A person becomes actually mad. If you just remove the packing, the skin, right? It is said beauty is skin deep. Beauty is skin deep. Why it is called? Because let's say, the most beautiful women in this world, they have this pageant contests, right? Miss World, Miss Universe. How audacious, huh? To call somebody Miss Universe. Even the ugliest Apsara, if she comes down, she would basically, surpass in beauty all these, boyish girls. Correct? So you take that form and you just peel off the skin. And, you can make a nice horror movie. That form with the removed skin is, going around. It would be a wonderful horror movie, right? So, Shri Krishna, his form is not like that. Krishna's form is so attractive that millions of cupids, see, one cupid is making so much trouble in this world, but millions of cupids, they faint when they see Krishna's beauty. That is the power of Krishna's beauty. And that Lord, Krishna, he never deteriorates. His beauty never deteriorates, right? Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham. Adyam Purana Purusham. He is the oldest. He is the original person. He is the most Purana. He is the most old. But still he is Navayovanam. Navayovan means he has just entered youth. So always fresh young boy, it also means that, but it also means that he is just entering youth. So Krishna, if you have seen Krishna crores of years ago, he still looks like that. And you see after crores of years, he's still looking, he's just entering, youth, right? So he is Navayovanam, always fresh, blissful youth. That is the form of Krishna, right? And that form of Krishna, when it culminates onto his face, so it is called Krishna Chandra. Krishna is known as Krishna Chandra. And on that moon-like face of Krishna, that beautiful smile of Krishna, it basically just can defeat all the distress of the living entity. Hmm? So that is Krishna, Sri Krishna. And it is such a good fortune to be associated with Krishna in any manner. Even the demons, when they associate with Krishna, they are benefited. Right? What to speak of devotees? A demon gets so much of benefit in associating with Krishna. What to speak of a devotee who is good intention? That is important. Because you could be a bad intention devotee also. Still, you should be devotee. But best is to be a good intention devotee, right? So Queen Kunti is telling Sri Krishna, Krishna Sakha, right? Krishna Sakha. Now here Krishna Sakha means Krishna who is Arjun, Arjun's friend. So now Queen Kunti is see relating to Krishna as a friend of Arjun. Who is Arjun? Kunti's son. Right? See how personal she is making. She is not telling that you are my nephew. That's the beauty of a devotee. A devotee never wants to put himself or herself in the picture. But a devotee always wants to put other devotees into picture. So this is a very important word she is using. Krishna Sakha, friend of Arjun. Right? So there is this beautiful pastime of Khandav Prastha where Agni, Agni gets a little, stomach upset because of too much ghee being offered, as oblations. So he wants to eat all the herbs in the Khandaprastha forest. But there is a problem. The Khandaprastha forest, you know, snakes like Takshak used to live there. And Takshak was protected by Indra. Takshak had taken a boon from Indra that he will always protect. So now Indra is the leader of the demigod. So like when a leader has a certain position, the subordinate cannot go against his position, right? That's what it is. So Agni couldn't eat. And you can imagine the pain that Agni was feeling. That he said, okay, I need to approach somebody higher. So whom he approached? He approached Arjun. He could have approached Bhima also. But he specifically approached Arjun because Agni is smart. Arjun is the son of Indra. He is born with from the potency of Indra. So when you want to get some work done from the father who doesn't want to do it, you will try to go to the son, right? So Agni approaches Arjuna and says, please, let me eat this forest. Basically, he's telling, let me burn this. And Arjuna said, okay, we'll burn it. And I'll make sure that nobody, disturbs you. And Mahabharata describes it so nicely that, there is this whole Agni is, burning, eating up the forest, and Arjuna is protecting because Indra is coming and, trying to, obstruct. So at the end, ultimately what happens is, you know, Takshak leaves. Agni basically, makes sure that Takshak is not disturbed. But then Lord Krishna was present, Arjun was present, and Indra was there. So Indra always, although externally unhappy that, I had given a promise and I had to, break it. But he was happy seeing Arjun. And he said, please ask me for some boon. And he offered it to Lord Krishna also. Please ask me for some boon. So what does Lord Krishna ask to Indra? He says, if you want to give me a boon that my friendship with Arjun is never disturbed. It is always fresh. Krishna is asking that boon, that my friendship with Arjun always remains intact. And what is Arjuna asking? Arjuna is asking, okay, please bless me with divine weapon. Arjuna didn't ask, please, give me friendship of Krishna. So Kunti Maharani is remembering that Krishna Sakha, oh Krishna, who is a friend of my dear son Arjun. That's how she is remembering Krishna. Then she says, Vrishni Rishabha. We know, Lord Krishna appeared in the Vrishni Vamsha. She is telling that you are the best amongst the Vrishnis. Now, usually the best amongst the family is the head of the family, isn't it? Correct? If you know, if a father has 10 kids, the best of that person will usually end up becoming the head of the family. So, like if you see the story of Nanda Maharaj, uh, uh, he had so many brothers, and he was the middle brother. There were five brothers. Maharaj Parjanya had five sons, and Nanda Maharaj was the middle son. But because he was the best in his qualities, in his love for the people and divine qualities, so he was made the king, not the eldest of sons. And everybody agreed to it, unanimous, right? But in this case, although Krishna was the best amongst the Yadus, best amongst the Vrishnis, but he never took up the position of a king. He made Ugrasen the king, right? So amazing lesson by Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, he was the protector of the Yadavas. Actually, because of Lord Krishna's presence, nobody in Aryavarta could dare attack, or go against, because everybody knew that Krishna is very powerful. Looks very ordinary. He's not a king, but he's very powerful, right? So Vrishni, Rishabh. Rishabh is, bull. A fully grown bull, if you see, male, they look very cool and calm, but, don't try to, mess around with them. They can create a havoc, right? And here, now, Kunti Maharani is remembering Avani Druk Rajanya Vamsha. So Avani is Mother Earth, and this word Druk, yeah. So she's telling, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on this. Now, if we see the word to word translation, there is nowhere politics mentioned. The word is Rajanya Vamsa, dynasties of the king. So basically, what she's telling, see, Lord Krishna, he descended into this world primarily for two things: to basically take care of the devotees and to destroy the evil king and re-establish religion. Right now, Lord Krishna, if we see his whole life, right, the way he positioned himself was in such a way that he kept on inviting demons into his home base, Braj, and he would kill them. Or what he would do is he would, find demons and kill them. Throughout his life, Lord Krishna regularly killed demons. Right? घुस के मारते थे वो अंदर. Correct? So we see, right from his little childhood, he killed Putana, Aghasur, Bakasur, Vyomasur, Vattasur, Shakatasur. So many Asuras. Mr. Prabhupada mentioned that every day Kamsa would send one demon. And Lord Krishna and his friends, they would kill. And Lord Krishna created such an illusion in the minds of all the kings. So what were these kings doing? See, for no reason they wanted to actually increase their territory, right? Now, if we see in today's world, there's a whole problem of territory. ये मेरा area है, इधर आने का नहीं. This is my area, please don't come here. So there is always this clash, and this clash is coming on since time immemorial, right? The fight over territory. And all these kings had so many military phalanxes. like Akshahuni it is called. So many phalanxes that the whole Mother Earth was burdened, and she was so much burdened, not because of the weight of the phalanxes, but the weight of all these sinful activities. Because who was suffering at the end? In the end, the suffering was borne by the common man, right? Now, when you have military, you need to pay the military. Na? In Vedic society, only few people were paid. The king was a paid person, and the military people were the paid person, the ministers. Rest, everybody was self-employed. Can you imagine? Everybody was self-employed. The Brahmanas, you couldn't employ them. They were, living on charity. The Kshatriyas were employed. Vaishyas, businessmen, no employment. And the Shudras were not workers. They were actually artisans. Like a barber. Barber is not your servant. If he doesn't want to come, he won't come. Carpenter, right? Plumber. All these people, they were all actually supporting, the other societies, but they were not uh, paid workers. The only paid worker was the king and the ministers and the soldiers. So to maintain such a big army, how will you get the money? You trouble the people. And the same thing is happening today also. Right? So much of war is going. So much of weapon is there. So Prabhupada used to say, every bomb has to go off someday. They are making so many bombs. They are making so many nuclear, you know, arsenal. What are you going to do with that? It has to explode. Just like any company who manufactured this mic, why would they manufacture the mic? So that it is used for that purpose. Ultimately, everything that is created is done keeping in mind the purpose of that. Correct? So if they are manufacturing weapons and so much of military equipment, what are they going to do with it? They are going to use it in fighting ultimately. So this is what exactly was happening at that time. So therefore, Lord Krishna came to basically rid the earth of the burden of impious kings. When Lord Krishna killed Kamsa, Kamsa's son-in-law, who is son-in-law of Kamsa? Jarasan. Jarasan was so angry that this boy killed my father-in-law. He was so angry that he attacked Mathura with 23 Akshauhinis of military. Now we all know that in the war of Mahabharat there were only 18 Akshauhinis, but Jarasandha had 23 Akshauhinis and he attacked the city of Mathura, and Lord Krishna alone only killed all the 23 Akshauhinis and he left Jarasandha, right? Because he knew Jarasandha's enthusiasm is amazing, right? I mean, sometimes we as devotees may not have so much enthusiasm. Sometimes we distribute books, sometimes we preach, and we don't get a response. So we become very disenchanted. We become अरे यार मैंने किया पर कुछ हुआ नहीं. Right? I tried, but nothing happened. So if somebody wants to take a lesson in enthusiasm, we should look at Jarasan. So what he did, he was so frustrated, but his spirit of defeating Krishna, because he had taken a vow, he will not leave single Yadu dynasty member on the earth. That was his vow. कि एक भी यादव को छोड़ूंगा नहीं. So now only one Yadav destroyed everything. So he went back. He again brought 23 Akshayam. Again. And he did that for 17 times. Can you imagine? Actually 18 times. The 18th time, Lord Krishna didn't fight. He said, "Abhi chhod, no, I have another plan." So he ran away. And even in Krishna's running away, he is celebrated as Ranachhod. Right? Krishna's engagement and disengagement is both worshipable. Right? And Krishna so beautifully says, one who sees action in inaction and inaction in action. This is an amazing statement to analyze. That person is a real seer. Right? So in Krishna's inaction, there was a great action. Right? He engaged a whole set of devotees in worshipping him by running away from the battlefield. And what did he achieve? By running away, he made sure that Kalayavan was killed. He didn't kill him, but he got him killed by Muchukund. So Krishna is a person with his one sankalp, he can do many things. So in his one sankalp of running away from the battlefield, he made sure that devotees had a nice pastime to discuss about him. He made sure that his devotee who was sleeping is awakened. See the third canto, if you read the third canto, the discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. Maitreya Rishi tells in one particular shloka that the Lord, he feels incomplete when he sees that the living entities are all sleeping. So because of that feeling of separation, he glances over the material nature to activate everything. So see, Krishna doesn't like his devotees sleeping or disengaged, right? Therefore, in the Vedanta Sutra, there is one sutra called Uttishta Jagrita Prapya Varrani Bodhita. That get up, arise, and don't stop until you reach your goal. That is our instruction of the Vedas, the Vedanta Sutra. And I used to read as a child, in my home, there was a photograph of Swami Vivekananda. My father had put it. And at the bottom, this is written, Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varrani Bodhita. I would wonder, what is this Uttishta Jagrata? Right? But after I came to ISKCON, I understood, oh, this is what it means. That one has to wake up and not stop until the goal is reached. Now, as devotees, we all have a goal, or at least we need to have a goal, or there is a goal, but we need to become aware of that goal, right? So, our goal is to ultimately become a servant of the servant of the servant, develop that consciousness. So, it's a great struggle. Our goal is to please Krishna in our chanting. It's a great struggle, right? Today only I was discussing with my father, what is the quality of a good japa? Mano madhye sthitam mantra, mantra madhye sthito mana. That the mind has to be in the mantra has to be in the mind. If one who can do that, that is good japa. Right? And Srila Prabhupada mentions that in chanting there are three things only involved. The tongue, the ears, and the mind. So you see, chanting with the tongue and hearing with the ear is easy. But disengaging the mind from its occupation, that is difficult. Because usually what happens, I have seen many students, they are studying and there is music going on. Right? I sometimes wonder, how can they study? What are they listening to? So sometimes we also become in that mechanical process. The chanting is going on, mind is also going on. Right? Mind is everywhere. You must have, by the time you finished 16 rounds, you must have completed a project in your mind. All the organization, okay, what I'm going to do, how am I going to do? And then immediately after chanting, we sit with the notepad, okay, ये मेरा points है आज. Happens. It happens with me. So, how did we come here? Anyways, this is the goal, right? So, Uttishta Jagrata. Prapte Varani Bodhi. So, here these kings were creating so much of problem, and Krishna came to relieve. Right? So that is the beauty. And at the final stage, Lord Krishna created this whole war of Mahabharata. Rajanya Vamsha Dahana. So Dahana means actually Dahana is the aspect of Agni. So to burn something up, right? So Krishna created such a friction. So expert, huh? Such an expert. In the forest, nobody goes and lights the forest. It is just the wind and the dry season and the bamboos coming together, and there is fire, and acres and acres of land just gets burned. So Krishna, by his Ichha Shakti, he burned so many dynasties, right? And he's burning today in the same way. All these wars happen because Krishna wants to rid the earth of some element. And Prabhupada says, these world wars are coming because of this combined sin. You know, when that combined sin becomes accumulated, then it has to be burned. So like how Lord Krishna, was leaving Jarasandha, he would actually bring everybody together, and Krishna would burn. He would bring burn. So that is, he doesn't have to do anything. All his Shaktis, they take care of everything. Parasya Shaktir Vivideva Shur. And then Anapavarga Virya. This is a very important word. Anapavarga. So Prabhupada ji explains that there is pavarga in our Varnamala. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nya, cha, cha, ja, ja, na, ta, tha, da, da, na, pa, pa, ba, bha, ma, yara, la, va, sha. Right? So this is our Varnamala. So the first letter of each Varna, each statement is it's the name of the Varga is Ka Varga, right? Cha Varga, Ta Varga. Then there is Pa Varga. So Srila Prabhupada so nicely explains what is Pa Varga. Pa Varga is Pa. Pa means Parishram. Anybody who comes to this world, he has to slog. Parishram. Right? Even a king of the jungle. King of the jungle has to do most Parishram actually. If you see, I used to watch a lot of National Geographic as a child. For the vegetarian people in the jungle, vegetable is available anywhere. A deer can just go and eat grass or leaves, etc. Even an elephant just destroy a tree and eat. But the king of the jungle, the lion, who is not a vegetarian, he has to plan so much. Because what happens is, as soon as the lion comes out, all the jackals and the hyenas, they whistle. And as soon as they whistle, everybody knows that he is coming, we should hide. This is such a painful affair. And once he kills, then he has to protect that from the jackals and the hyenas. And if the lion is alone and there are more than three hyenas or jackals, they will actually chase away the lion. The lion has to leave, right? So much of pain per Varga. Prabhupada describes about, ass, how the ass has to work, how the horse has to work. They work so much. So there is pain, per. After Parishram, you start, the mouth starts, foaming. Of course, it doesn't happen to us. We don't work so much. But actually, yesterday I had taken my son to this Wonderla. And while we were standing in the queue, I was watching the India and, no, South Africa and England match. And there was this one spinner. Now, see, a spinner doesn't have to run. They just take 5, 6 steps and they throw the ball. But a pace bowler has to run and then, deliver. I was looking at the spinner. He was spinning and he was, I told Sanan, why is he panting so much? He's just, not even running. The point is, there is so much of struggle, parishram and pain. And because you have done so much, you have slogged so much, whatever you achieve, you become attached to that. प फ ब बंधन बंध जाते हैं हम. Right? अरे, I put so much of effort. Now I become attached to it. Right? I put so much of effort to reach this position. Now I'm attached to this position. I put so much effort to, create this home. Now I'm attached to the home. Right? So whatever we desire, काश मेरे पास ये होता. Right? Just if. So as soon as you see just if and whatever comes after it, know for sure that the universe is going to give it to you in this lifetime or in the future lifetime. So every set of desire, right? Oh, just if my hair was more black, you're just giving an example. Just if my hair was longer, more thicker. Now somebody who is in Africa, he is thinking, just if I was a fair person. Somebody is in America is thinking, oh, just if I had a tanned body. A little unfair. So that just if list doesn't end. So the living entity keeps on generating bodies because for every if there is a body waiting for you to fulfill that desire. So one has to be extremely careful of what we think because each thought is a seed for another body, right? So, but Krishna, what he does, his commitment, his sankalpa never deteriorate. Like our sankalp, we may sit, okay, get up in the morning and sit down. Today I am going to really in my japa, right? First two mantras, third mantra, mind is off. Correct? That happens. So one has to be very careful, mindful of what the mind is doing, what the mind is thinking, what are we desiring, right? So, but when Krishna desires, oh, so we were bandhan, then bhai, because there is fear of losing. Whatever I'm attached to, there is fear of losing. Correct? So competition is there because of fear. So if somebody is a good cook, he is not in competition with the person who is making a garland. Because the garland बना रहा है, मेरे को क्या है? Right? But as soon as some other cook comes, then he is अरे मेरे से अच्छा तो नहीं बनाएगा ये, तो नेम फेम ग्लोरी मिल जाएगा है ना. So this bhai, I need to protect now. So you see, the more rich, the more influential, the more opulent you become, the more fear also increases. Why do you think that the politicians have, this Z security? Because they're always in fear. Somebody may attack them. I don't know, like these big people, they stay in big apartments and buildings. You know, you can imagine how many, guards they might be having. They have guards, they have dogs, they have all the kind of, security instruments, right? And now the security, cyber security, and identity and access management, it's a big industry. How to protect your premises from unauthorized access, unidentified people going in, IAM, identity and access management. So there is always this fear, right, for the living entity. And ma, ultimately मर जाता है, right? The biggest fear Shiromani is Mrityu. But we think, unfortunately, that Mrityu is a destination, stage. No, you should read 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mrityu is always happening. We don't realize there are four kinds of destruction, right? There is a constant destruction. And all this destruction is done by the 11 Rudras. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam has all the information. How these different Rudras always continue destroying. And our body is getting destroyed. Right? Slowly, slowly, like Shankaracharya ji says, Angam Galitam Palitam Mundam. Everybody knows. Dashana Vihinam Jatam Dundam. Vriddhavati Drita Gandam. Tadapina Munchati Asha Pindam. Only Asha is not destroyed. Everything else is destroyed. Asha Pasha Paddha. Right? Prabhupada nicely, thinks it is. That my karma is so this thing. Anadi karma phale, kori bhavar nava jale. Kori bare na dekhi upay. It's a beautiful meditation. Prabhupada is singing. And in that sloka he says, Asha Pasha Baddha. What is binding the soul? Actually, we should understand. Nothing is binding us except our desires. One has to just take the determination. Hey Krishna, I'll stop desiring nonsense. I just want to desire your service. One has to just change that desire. So then what happens is apavarga. Then one goes to liberation, where there is no parishram, no bandhan, no pain, right? Vaikunta, therefore it is called Vaikunta. Vaikunta means where there is no bhai. Vaikunta, no kunta. So that is Krishna's determination. His virya is anapavarga. It is never destroyed. Our sankalpa is constantly destroyed. So one has to sankalp and remain in those association of those devotees who are really determined. Then we can actually progress. So then when Kunti is saying, beautiful, Govinda. And Prabhupada is translating, O proprietor of Goloka Dham. So Govinda means, Go means three things. Go means the senses, Go means the cows, Go also means the earth. Right? Govinda. Govinda means one who gives pleasure to all these things. The cows, the mother earth, and senses. So Krishna is the prime object of pleasure for these three things. And Goloka Dham is nothing but, it's Golok. So Krishna has a very special affection for the cow. One has to understand that any society who wants to advance spiritually, they have to serve and protect cows. And Prabhupada says that protecting cow doesn't mean just protecting them from slaughterhouse. Protecting cows means making them happy, right? And cows are really happy when they raise their tail and they are running. That means they are really happy. And they cannot do that unless they perceive that they are protected completely. So the whole Vedic society, if you see, was organized around Go Raksha. When Britishers came to India, for every human being, there were 10 cows. That was the proportion of population. So that was real world. You know, now we are in a very unnatural world where cows, we have to pass laws. Can you imagine Kalyuga's advancement? We have to pass laws and still you fail. Nobody wants to follow it. What is the use of passing law when the lawbreakers are more than the law keepers? If 10 people are in charge in keeping the law and there are 100,000 people who are breaking the law, what's going to happen, right? So what is really needed is a change of consciousness in the society. So Krishna is Go Brahmanya Hitayat. And when a devotee becomes Go Brahmanya Sevak, then Krishna is extremely pleased with the devotee. So if we serve devotees in the mood of Lord Chaitanya mood was Gopir Bhartu Pad Kamalayor Das Dasanu. See, physically we can do a lot of things. We can do service, we can achieve things. But mind you, Krishna never looks at the achievement because Krishna is Bhavagrahi. He is not result grahi, Janardhan. He is Bhavagrahi, Janardhan. What is your bhav? So one time, Srila Prabhupada, he was sitting and one devotee came and he offered Srila Prabhupada a check of $100,000. Srila Prabhupada took that check and he gave it to his secretary. And he said to that person, you could have given 108,000. Srila Prabhupada said that. You could have given $108,000. And then another devotee came. He offered Srila Prabhupada a pack of incense. And Srila Prabhupada very graciously accepted that incense and thanked him. Thank you so much. Now, to a person who doesn't understand, he would say, what kind of person he is, This guy has given so much of money and he didn't even thank him. And this person gave insignificant incense. It might be probably 80 cents. But he is thanking him because Prabhupada is Acharya. He understood what is the bhav of giving of the person who was giving 100,000. So Krishna is bhavagrahi. So when we serve, service has to have that quality of humility and simplicity and not keeping oneself in the center. As Kunti Manan is doing. She is in his prayers. She is never mentioning about herself. Right? She didn't even mention that you don't go. He's just telling, Arey, now you are leaving, what will happen about us? All these animals are still there. When you go away, when you were here, it was so nice. The whole earth was so nice. The rivers were having so much of water. The land was giving so much of grains. Everything was so beautiful. She never mentioned to Krishna that you don't go. Yudhishthir mentioned you don't go. So that is the bhav of the devotee. So when we serve, it has to be like that. So Krishna is Govind Godvija Sura Arti Hara. When a devotee is distressed, Arti means distress. And one of the names of Krishna is Hari. What does he har? What does he take away? He takes away the Arti. Arti Har. So he is very good in taking away the distress of his devotees. Not only his devotees, Krishna is adept in taking away distress of everybody. Right? But only thing is, one has to be ready. Because see, if you analyze what gives distress in our life, distress is caused by unnecessary things. Unnecessary accumulation of earth with desires. We also accumulate desires. So thing is, Krishna is ready to take away, but we have to be ready to give it away. So because it's a two-way thing. Krishna will never force us. He'll never change your desire. No, he is not going to do that. He is just going to have a nice, loving, अरे भाई इतना मार खाया है अभी तो छोड़ दो. Correct? You have suffered so much. At least now you give up. But the living in it is desire to enjoy. And this desire to enjoy is not just enjoying the senses. The actual desire is to control. Actual desire is to become the Lord. And Prabhupada again and again mentions the desire to lord it over, right? At least I am best, better than you. If I am not better in this group, at least I am better than you. Right? That always that nail is there, that pin. Yeah, I am the Shrestha amongst. So that has to be given up. As soon as the living entity gives up that thought, I am the best, that I am the Lord, then Krishna is ready to help. And then at the end, she says, so Krishna is descended to basically relieve the distress of even the demigods. Hmm? Because see, if you think about it, this temple is like a universe. Just as this universe is a universe, and the universe has different departments, and there are different department heads. So anytime there is a problem in a department, right? Somebody is disturbing. So usually for demigods, one demigod is not going to disturb another demigod. Have you heard anytime Surya disturbing Chandra, Chandra disturbing Surya, right? But in devotees it happens, unfortunately. So usually demigods are very good. They always cooperate. If you see, when they did the Manthan, all demigods were nicely cooperating, right? So cooperation is a big challenge in Kali Yuga. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada's parting instruction was, please cooperate. Why would a world Acharya, at the end of his life, give an instruction, please cooperate? Because Kali Yuga's nature is to create uncooperation, right? Because Kali Yuga has two fangs, just as a snake has two fangs, right? What are the two fangs? Quarrel and hypocrisy. So leaders become quarrelsome and the followers become hypocrites. That's what happens in Kali. So one has to understand that Krishna is coming to take away your distress. So even in our bhakti, when we are doing things, there is a lot of distress. How does Krishna come and take away the distress? He gives his instruction. He gives his instruction. And that is the next thing that she is telling. Akhila Guru. So one thing is Krishna can physically come and keep everything ready. And things are set. Okay, all the nonsense elements are gone. Things are set. But in Kali Yuga, the nonsensical elements are within us only. Previously, at least there was a bifurcation. Okay, so you can see that. But in a devotee's life, in a congregation setting, all the difficulty is within. So how will you know? Is Krishna going to come and kill that devotee? No. So his instructions are there. Bhagavad Gita is there. Srimad Bhagavatam is there. There are gurus. There are Shiksha gurus. They are all representatives of this. So that our nonsensical ideas are taken away. Because only when they are taken away from our being, when we are reformed, then the movement can go on. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says, please cooperate. Right? Because cooperation is an extremely difficult thing. Because when you want to cooperate, you have to either come at the same level or you have to go beyond, below. Right? As long as we have this aham bhav, then there is no cooperation. You cannot cooperate. Right? So it is said, na, if you are a stick, I should become a hole. If you are also a stick and I am also a stick, then what's going to happen? De dana dan. Right? Then there is going to be a big fight. So as soon as you see there is a stick, you become a hole. Let the stick go in you and let the flag of Krishna consciousness fly. Anyways, we should not become a stick. Or if there are sticks, you make a nice structure out of the stick. At least, don't fight amongst ourselves. So, Akhila Guru, universal preceptor. So, there is a great competition in becoming Jagat Guru. Everybody wants to take a title, I am Jagat Guru. Isn't it true? Right? Every, spiritual organization, the title is Jagat Guru. Right? He may not even have 10 people following him. The title is Jagat Guru. But Krishna is so amazing. The person who thinks he's following Krishna, he's following Krishna. And the person who thinks that I don't accept Krishna's existence, he is also following Krishna. Because he is controlled by Maya. Right? So Krishna controls everybody. Directly or indirectly. So directly or indirectly, everybody is following Krishna. Right? Ye athamam prapadyante, tam sadaiva bhajami. Mama vartamanu anuvartante. Everybody is following me only. But somebody is doing it directly, somebody is doing indirectly. So the choice is to be directly under Krishna's filter. जो बोलते हो मान लो, नहीं तो जेलर मनवाने वाला है. Right? For a good citizen, he is following the government. For a bad citizen, he is also following government in the jail. Right? He is going into the jail and there he is following the government. So what is a good choice? What is a good choice? Why don't we follow, nicely outside the jail now? Let us be good citizens. Let us be good, human beings, good devotees. Why do you want to invite, Krishna's wrath and unnecessarily, invite pain? So the best policy is sweat in practice so that we don't bleed in the war. So a devotee should actually take this mantra in life. Sweat during practice so that you bleed less during the war. Because sooner or later, every one of us will face difficulties in life. So when things are good, why don't we be good? Why don't we, really do good service, good sadhana? Give away all our, attachments and disagreements and just work with unity, right? Because that kind of life builds strength in us. And that strength and stability will help us when there is war, when there is disturbance. And it is going to happen, right? So, you are the Almighty God. Bhagavan, O possessor of all appearances, Namahate. So Queen Kunti finally is offering her obeisance to Lord Krishna. And Krishna loves when devotees offer obeisances to him. Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Such a devotee comes to me. When you offer your obeisances to Krishna, Krishna promises you will come to him. Right? Now slowly, when I came to the temple first time, we could offer so many obeisances. Right? Even if there were 10 sets of deities, we could offer them individually. But now as we grow age, we go to a temple and there are 3 altars. बाप रे यार, सबके सामने ऑफर, हर एक के सामने ओबेसेंसेस ऑफर करना डिफिकल्ट होता है. It's little tough. But you should see Srila Prabhupada. There are videos he would offer obeisances individually, whatever it was, right? So sooner or later, our physical abilities, our mental abilities, they are going to decline. So while we are strong, we should do things very nicely, right? Because even the act of offering obeisances is manasa vasa karmana. So maybe the body may become that you may not be able to offer by your body karmana, but your mind and words are still there. No? You can offer with that. So Krishna is so kind that even in your mind, if you offer him something, he is ready to accept it. Right? So why would we not worship? Why would we not wholeheartedly worship? We worship, but our heart is not. Unfortunately, we don't give our entire being. See, Krishna gave himself 100% to us. Krishna's commitment to us is 100%. Problem is with us. And then we question, "Arey, why things are not happening?" The problem is, you are not giving 100%. Right? As soon as you give 100%, connection will be taut. The current will flow without any problem. So let us, take inspiration from this verse, right? And let us really be Krishna conscious solidly, right? Whatever we do, it should not be mediocre. It should be good to the best. Our offering to Krishna should be the best. It may be very simple, but it has to be best, right? Let me offer Krishna my best mind. Why a contaminated, right? So you will really, be careful. Because if you think about a mother is always conscious what the child is, needing. She is always conscious. So now the child has to become conscious what the mother needs, right? Constantly. What Krishna needs. What does Krishna's devotees need? That consciousness has to be developed. What does the cow need? Right? Once we have that consciousness, then that consciousness is very attractive to Krishna. And Krishna will come and sit on the throne of your heart. And the heart is nicely cleaned, like Lord Chaitanya, displayed by cleaning the Gundi Chakra. Then Krishna will reside as Brajaraj, Brajaraja Sutta. Sri Nandan will come and reside with Srimati Radhika, Radha Vinodji. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please forgive me if I spoke something beyond my adhikar. Usually when you sit on the Vyasasana, you become very enthusiastic. So you speak something. So I think it's 10:05. We need to end, right? Okay. Prabhuji is telling we can take one or two questions.
It's Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, your classes are always awesome and very nicely you told. In fact, I felt that you're almost on the verge of opening the can of worms, like you were explaining how ifs gives you so many bodies. And then you were speaking about the uh, the how we have to differentiate, right? Even in the we try to sometimes lord over material things. So I would like your opinion on how to differentiate lording even when we are in the Prabhupada's climate, means Hare Krishna climate. And how are we, I mean, because we know that we are all doing as a part of being the, are you able to hear me?
The question is not clear. You can ask without mic. Ask without the mic. Hari bol.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, your classes are always amazing, excellent. And in fact, a week back, I was asking you something which I don't want to disclose here, but pleasure to hear you always. And I felt that you were about to, speak on this point, which I want your opinion a little more of lording over the uh, material nature. We are all have anathas. My experience in 24 years in Krishna consciousness, I have experienced that sometimes my heart says, even we devotees, when we group together here, sometimes we have been given some authorities or we took those services and we hurt devotees. Now, you know it. I mean, if you have spent time in ISKCON, you cannot do away about that. But we also know that Lord is a master person who does a master correction. Of course, when the friction happens between two devotees, it's not only one side. It is always somewhere Krishna wants to teach lesson to both of them. But one of the devotee always thinks that, oh, he was wrong. The other devotee thinks, he was wrong. So how to counterattack that? And when you are in the management, and I have personally experienced this being in the management, we lose our smile, we lose our, because we have been told to do something, we cross our boundaries. So that lording over comes here even in this spiritual world. And because of which so many devotees have left ISKCON. The last time when I visited Vrindavan, one devotee who has gone to the Prema temple, some new temple has gone. And that devotee was an ex-ISKCON devotee. He said, so many devotees from ISKCON are withering off and going to those places where they don't find, of course, ISKCON is gem. And to leave ISKCON, like how Narari Prabhuji nicely said, everybody is Ayaram, nobody is Gayaram. But still, this challenge for the, how the devotees have to handle this challenge. The question is this, that how do we prevent ourselves, this lording over even when we are doing on the Lord's affairs? If I am wrong, maybe it's my contamination that my question is wrong.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I perfectly understood what you were trying to ask. So, no, this is Prabhuji's question was that how amongst devotees when we are serving, there is certain authority that is given. And naturally, see, when authority is given, sometimes, there is friction and then you may actually go beyond and say something, do something, and then there is friction. And devotees, leave, they become animosity happens. So yeah, that is, see, our whole parampara is a line of authority. Correct? A parampara means line of authority. But we have to understand that we have been given authority to serve, not to lord, become, so like if you are a king, you have to be a Raja Rishi, not just a king. So Raja Rishi means what? He is a Rishi, he is detached. Basically, a Rishi only should become king. So it is a big challenge in even, selecting whom should be given, uh, positions of service. Usually it's a challenge because many times we don't know how a person is. So it's a learning actually for everybody. But if you see Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, the in charge of serving prasad to the devotees was not a newcomer. The most senior person would do that service. Right? There is a reason. First is it's a menial service. So it's not that senior people should, just do Hari Bol, Hari Bol. No. There has to be a thing that, you need to do that service. Second, prasadam service is a very sensitive seva because you can make or break a relationship while serving prasad. So I'll give you an example. Last Sunday, our school had organized this Navratri celebration. So every Navratri, there is a annual day event. So there were two items. There were three items in service. There was a sweet. There was, I think it was mint rice, and there was some, curry kind of thing. And you will not imagine the proportion of the rice and curry was like, 10 is to 1. And I was in charge of serving the curry. So like, and I was told, Prabhuji, you serve only half spoon. And you can imagine, you have 3 heaps of rice in the plate, and that curry is half. So I had to humbly, first of all, I was serving half, and people were looking at me. And then when they would come for the second time, I had to humbly tell, okay, please, there are so many people there. Ultimately, what happened was the curry left. Ultimate, and I was shocked. I was telling, Arey, you guys told me to, put only half. I have sent away so many people, right? So the point is, I am telling this prasad serving was done by the very senior people because see, it is not senior in terms of age only. It's senior also in terms of their maturity and the because when you're serving prasad, one has to develop the ability of understanding what this person likes and then accordingly serve. And one has to actually see the physio psychological bhava and then do the service. So which usually the devotees who have spent more time are able to do. So because after serving prasad, it's the end of the occasion, right? You did all the katha and everything, and if you give wrong impression or experience during prasad, then the whole thing is lost. So my point was, authority comes with a lot of responsibility actually. So one has to do a good job in selecting people. Like if somebody is a good, cook, and if you put him, head of the cooking department, he would have done very nicely. But you made him head of book distribution. So I mean, he will do the service, but what he will do, right? So sometimes a lot of these things happen because we are wrongly placed. Puzzle, hai na? Things are a puzzle. You are meant to fit in a certain place. But if somebody, forcefully fits you in a wrong place, then what's going to happen? Your edges will get torn. You will really be miserable. And when you are miserable, you can give what you have. So if you are happy, you will make others happy. If you are miserable, even if you want to make others happy, you will not be able to. Because ultimately, a living entity can give only what he has or she has. So therefore, it's a very sensitive thing what you ask. So it's not a straightforward answer. It is both ways. The person who is doing service, he also needs to mature himself, right? Because nobody is see in our jobs when we do service, we have had a whole session of 3 panels interview. They have checked our academics and everything, and then they have selected you to do a certain thing, and then they have explained you what are your roles and responsibilities, right? Everything is done, and then you are serving. Still, there is a problem initially. Then you become stable. But in our society, we don't do that usually. You know, we give service based on enthusiasm. Oh, this person is enthusiastic, give him this service, right? So maybe there has to be a framework developed, more mature way of handling things, and slowly it comes. So ultimately, the point is we have to cooperate. I may be in a wrong place, but let me just cooperate, right? If I'm in the wrong place, at least I should not speak the wrong thing in the wrong manner. You can always speak things pleasingly. Although things are difficult, Nobody has stopped you from speaking, nice words, na? Correct? So whatever the situation may be in management, the whole thing is how you communicate, right? Your communication is like, authoritative or, humble. So that communication makes a lot of difference. You may be having a lot of anxiety and, pressure, etc. But don't let that come to your speech, right? So usually we think after we speak, usually, but we should think before speaking, right? Therefore, it is extremely important how we communicate things. So communication can actually take care of most of the things. If we just have a nice dialogue, usually we don't have a dialogue. संवाद नहीं होता है, विवाद होता है. संवाद means sum. Sum means equal. Equal level पे आके बात करो. Right? We have to come at the same platform and talk. You cannot say, अरे मैं ऊंचा हूँ, तुम नीचे हो. तो मैं उस लेवल से बात करूंगा. If I talk from that level, then it is not संवाद. Because it's like a, jigsaw, right? Seesaw. Sorry. Seesaw, how seesaw happens? One goes up, so then he wants to go up. So he pushes himself. So when the other guy is down, he pushes himself. So that's how the game goes. So we shouldn't do like that. We should come at equilibrium. Samvad. Okay. It's not about you or me. It's about the service. It's about the care of the devotees. It's about the deities. We are working to please them. So when we establish a common point, then things, we have to remove I from the whole khichdi. As soon as the I is removed, then the cooking happens very nicely. Till the point that I is there, there is always a cry that's going to happen. So I think we should just end here. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everybody. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.